Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing great out there this morning, having a fantastic start to your day and your week, and I certainly hope you guys had an awesome weekend. I got you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for your Monday. I can tell you, not a super active day out there, but there could be some active times coming up towards the second half of the work week, maybe even to this weekend. So we'll talk about what's going to happen weather-wise for today. It'll be a beautiful fall-like day for a lot of folks again today, as a lot of people over the weekend experienced a very nice weekend, especially areas of the southeast and the mid-Atlantic and the south central U.S. We'll talk about that. And then for the second half of the video, we'll kind of go over the information that we went over in yesterday evening's video. So if you missed yesterday evening's video, not a whole lot has changed, but of course we have some updated information just because we're further in time on the Gulf flow, and then confidence is increasing that we are going to have a couple severe weather days at minimum across the middle of the country. The Midwest, they have actually increased the chance for severe weather. So we'll speak on that, give you a very brief update on the tropics also. So if you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. It really helps in these slower times that we are in right now. Have not had a chance to go over the comments from the last two videos. I will go over all the comments and acknowledge everything a little bit later this afternoon. And more importantly, guys, if you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below so I can pray over it and so others can do so too. So with that being said, let's talk about some weather. My clicker's being a little weird. I keep wanting to draw lines on here, but it keeps doing that, just wanting to do kind of just polka dots instead. So we're not going to mess with that. I think I need to restart my computer. I did not restart it yesterday. But anyways, we will just point to things on the water vapor loop. Still have this low pressure in Canada. Continues to spin around. This will bring more showers into the Great Lakes region a little bit later today. In fact, there's probably already some showers out there falling right now. We still have this zonal flow in the southern portion of the lower 48 going over areas of the Gulf of Mexico. This will bring a chance for more showers in areas of southern Florida today, even southern Texas. And then everywhere else, even though you don't see those super dull colors in this entire region right into here, there's still some pretty dry air in place. Now, moisture return will be on the increase across especially the south central U.S. and eventually the southeast here in the coming days. But today will still be another crisp, kind of autumn-like day for a good portion of the country. Now, there is activity moving onshore off the Pacific into the Pacific Northwest. This is kind of energy number one, if you will, that will bring rain into the western areas of Oregon, Northern California, and western sections of Washington State. But then there will be another piece of energy that flies in with an upper trough, and that is the system we watch for some severe weather. So sorry I couldn't draw on this like I normally do. We will get that fixed for tomorrow morning's video for sure. But as you can tell, there is some very light showers. I'm not sure what exactly is hitting the ground up here in the UP of Michigan. You guys will have to let me know. Steven, you'll have to let me know what's actually falling. But this radar on weather taps sometimes shows rain in certain areas where it's not really falling. But let me know what you guys are seeing up here in the Great Lakes region. But it does indicate a little bit of shower, some sprinkle activity up here in the UP of Michigan, drifting down into northern sections of Michigan. We have some energy flying out of Canada into New York State. Just some cool air going over some of these Great Lakes region. This causes lift in the atmosphere when some of this cool air goes over some relatively still warm bodies of water from the summertime over the Great Lakes. It's the same way we get lake effect snow, but in this case, not enough cold air at the surface, and it's just lake effect rain. We had a lot of that over the course of the weekend. There is some moisture entering the West Virginia region, kind of moving out of sections of southern Ohio, eastern Kentucky. I would watch here in the coming hours. In fact, by the time some of you folks watch this video, some of these higher elevations of West Virginia, 3,000-4,000 feet up, this could fall in the form of some snow flurries. I would not be surprised one bit. We saw it a little bit over the weekend, the snowshoe region, seeing some flurries flying around. Some showers making their way over sections of Florida. I imagine a whole lot of this isn't reaching the ground, at least based off what this is indicating. We got some shower, some light to moderate rain falling in southern Texas. So that's what's falling out there right now. We got the system entering the northwest, and we'll see what it does as it continues to move west to east. Storm Prediction Center, guys, there's not a lot to mention. There is a general risk of thunderstorms, of thunderstorm potential in Idaho and surrounding regions of each state. Around Idaho, some thunderstorm activity possible in the southwest. Maybe some thunderstorm activity in southern areas, extreme southern areas of Florida. Outside of that, guys, typically I don't even show this if there's not even a marginal risk, but just to kind of give you guys an idea where we could have some thunderstorm activity. Here you go. Watches and warnings. I mean, there's not a whole lot to show with this either. Still got freeze warnings up here. I'm surprised you guys are still getting freeze warnings. I thought you guys had already had a widespread freeze up here, but I'm not sure. Of course, I don't have every single weather conditions for every single state memorized, but freeze warnings up for northern and northeast sections of Minnesota. Freeze warnings up for the higher elevations of West Virginia. And then you do have that flood watch here and northern sections of New York State with those lake effect rain bands that just are kind of moving over some of the same areas up here. So outside of that, not a whole lot going on. Really isn't. So let's go on and talk about the southeast. Cool conditions. Another cool morning. It's cooler this morning than it was yesterday morning here in my neck of the woods. We've gotten down to about 41, 42 degrees. Definitely by far the, not really by far comparing it to yesterday morning, but definitely the coolest morning of the fall season so far. We got some 30s out there in North Carolina, maybe some frost on some rooftops. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. And you can actually really see where the cold front boundary is here in Florida, where, you go to the central peninsula of Florida, you're waking up to the 60s, and then you get down to the southern tip of Florida, 70s. But, you start to get to northern Florida, the panhandle of Florida, you'll need a jacket heading off to work or school this morning for sure. You got widespread 40s in the panhandle of Florida, 40s, Alabama, Georgia, definitely below freezing in some of these higher elevations of the mountains of North Carolina, just the apps in general. And chilly conditions. Now you can tell the low temperatures this morning in Arkansas, areas of southern Missouri, not quite as chilly. Just with the axis of the coolest air that's really fully done shifted to the east, but still chilly morning. I really think this will kickstart the changing of the leaves for a lot of folks that are not seeing much changing of the leaves out there. But from what I'm seeing, everything seems to be just about on track. But it's been very dry. This does affect the changing of the leaves also, just because the leaves just fall off when it gets too dry. As far as what's going to fall rain-wise today, the only area I'm watching really is the southern areas of Florida. Could get some storm action in around Miami. The Bahamas could see some storm action, especially the northern islands. Some showers are possible from Orlando point south. Like I said, some could be in the form of some storms, but I am watching this little area of rain that will become more enhanced later on. Some showers, some chilly showers will make their way over the northern North Carolina mountains, northeast Tennessee, southwest Virginia, pretty much anybody in West Virginia, eastern Kentucky. Some showers will fly through, and they could be convective in nature, could get some heavier bursts of rain. So we'll certainly watch that, and we'll actually zoom in on this here in a second. So bear with me if you live in the Mid-Atlantic and you want some more details on this rain and the timing. The Northeast, we still had this low pressure up here in Canada. This could pivot some more moisture down here into sections of just the Northeast in general. You got some lake effect energy moving off Lake Erie right here. The town of Erie could certainly see some showers on and off all day today. Some showers could drift into western PA, the Finger Lakes, the southern tier region, especially western sections of New York State. Some showers are possible, not widespread, but possible. Some showers just in general, just really anywhere in the Northeast today, but they will be very isolated. And then we're watching this rain that I just talked about. We can actually zoom in on this, and there's a reason I'm zooming in on this. Later, but here in the next hour or so, some of these higher elevations, you see these little splotches of blue and pink. Some snow showers could certainly be falling in these higher elevations of West Virginia right into here. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. This will just be a chilly rain for a lot of areas. We know that there's some mountainous regions in western Maryland also. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised you get some snow that mixes with some of the rain. But here's a more consolidated area of moisture right here, moving through western Virginia. And this continues, maybe around rush hour this afternoon, this evening, around the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. you guys could certainly see some scattered downpours a little bit later today in that time frame. And then this will drift into the Delmarva region. Some showers, not a big deal later this evening. Could bring some dampness out here. I think we all could use the rain, except if you're in the Northeast for sure. You guys don't need the rain at all. But speaking of the South Central U.S., really nothing to speak on. The only thing I would mention is down here near Brownsville, Corpus Christi, point south. You guys could see some shower activity throughout the day, just where it's kind of that leftover boundary has just really stalled out and it's kind of weakening. You would just consistently see some rains throughout the next 24 hours in southern sections of Texas. Okay, hopefully we can get this into further northeast areas, kind of up the northeast coastline of Texas. But you can see the moisture is building in, and if you were to keep this going, this is going to be the start of our rainmaker that begins to creep in, and we will speak on that here in a second. North Central U.S., the only thing I'll speak on, we got some snow falling on the northern side of Lake Superior. But on the southern side, I think most of this will fall as rain, but we get into this afternoon, early this afternoon, you guys will definitely see some shower activity, some lake effect energy, and just some energy that's flying on the backside of this low pressure will fly through from the northeast and the north into the UP of Michigan, northern Michigan. Some snow showers, some snow could mix with this rain. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. This lasts throughout the afternoon. This evening, just a chilly rain up here. Okay, and this gets enhanced off these Great Lakes, like Michigan. I mean, even Lake Huron. So it's just getting to that time of the year. You're seeing little splotches of blue overnight. Wouldn't be surprised. Some little snow mixes in with some of this rain, and it will not accumulate, will not add up. But you could see, when that rain is changing the snow or mixing with snow, sometimes you see raindrops that look like they're falling a little bit slower than all the other raindrops, and that's just because there's a little ice in there, just indicating that there's enough cold air for some snow to mix in. Weather conditions out west. Most of the western U.S. is quiet, but we got this energy that's flying onshore. The northern areas of California, especially the far northwest corner of California, some heavy rains move onshore. Same thing with western Oregon, western Washington State. This begins to breach the Seattle region a little bit later today and starts to get more into the central areas of Washington State and Oregon as we continue to move forward here. And we get some showers that drift throughout northern California. Some of these showers could eventually this evening make their way all the way into northwest areas of Nevada. And then we start to get some moisture that makes it all the way into Idaho, but not very widespread. But here's our bigger system moving in. We will watch this for tomorrow. I think this will bring more rain and just more active weather for the Pacific Northwest, cranking up tomorrow morning throughout tomorrow. But rainfall between now and the next 24 hours, I mean, just scattered areas of a quarter to a half an inch. Some areas not even a tenth of an inch of rain, but definitely enough rain to make the ground wet, to maybe cause some dicey conditions if you're not a great driver in the rain, or if you live somewhere where there's not a lot of great drivers in the rain. You will certainly have a rainy on and off day here in the western sections of Washington and Oregon and northwest California. So definitely be aware of some rain showers today. Temperatures, still a nice day. Not as cool as yesterday, but you're still hanging on to the 40s and 50s for high temperatures. Maybe getting to the low 60s in Boston, but for the Northeast, definitely a chilly day remains for areas of the southern Alps, even in the central Alps. Southeast, another beautiful day. Definitely warmer than yesterday, probably about 5 or 6 degrees. Temperatures in the 70s, but the further you creep west, the more warmer it gets. You start to get into the 70s and 80s and just 80s across Texas, Louisiana, most of Mississippi, Arkansas. You're warming back up, but nothing totally uncomfortable. Nothing totally uncomfortable out here for sure. Nothing you guys can't handle with just seeing the brutal summer you did. The further north you work, the cooler it gets. And then by the time you get into the Great Lakes region, it's just downright chilly, but nothing unusual for October night standards. I like to twist my words up. I like to see if you guys are listening, just to try to trick you guys up. I'm just kidding. I just don't know how to talk sometimes. But the western U.S., above average temperatures affecting the area, but you're starting to cool back down in those same areas I just mentioned. In the Pacific Northwest, rain will fall today. Rain won't really fall as much today. You will get to above average temperatures. Some of these valley areas will get into the 80s. So above average temperatures creeping in. all the way up through the high plains into Montana. I mean, some areas of Montana will hit 80 degrees a day. All right, so and definitely a little bit above average temperatures out here for sure. That's it for the weather for today. We'll give you a brief update on the tropics. We are watching Invest 92L, but I mean, really, we can watch it, but it's not going to affect anybody. It's looking like it's going to head out to sea regardless of what it does, as basically the main development region out here is beginning to shut off for the 2023 hurricane season. We started to watch the Gulf, and they've actually dropped to 10% risk within the next 7 days of something developing. A small area of low pressure with disorganized thunderstorm activity has formed. We will watch this, but it's looking like it's going to emerge with a frontal system, and it even discusses that here on your screen, as you just are starting to see frequent troughs, frequent cold fronts that's making its way into the central and eastern U.S. And honestly, that's all I see for the near future. So this is really going to prevent a whole lot of tropical activity from sneaking into areas of the southeast. But there is going to be some tropical moisture that comes up from the energy left over from that tropical system in eastern areas of the Pacific. This will fly over Mexico and will get carried over into areas of the deep south. And here it comes. We'll start off tomorrow afternoon. Here comes the rains taking over the extreme coastal regions of Texas. I think the closer you are to the coastal regions of Texas, the more rain you get. You work yourself about 1 to 2 hours inland. The rain begins to drop off, but I think you guys can even still see some rain. But waking up Wednesday morning, a lot of heavy rain offshore, but this will make its way onshore. Now, there's going to be a cutoff. We really need this to move a little bit further north for our folks in southern and southwest Mississippi. We really do. The further you make your way to the Gulf Coast, the more rain that will fall. We're hoping that this trend's a little bit further north for you folks up in Jackson. There is the worst drought level that you can have. I think it's called an exceptional drought, even though an extreme drought sounds worse. But anyways, we won't speak on the terminology that the National Weather Service uses sometimes. But we need this axis of heavier rain to really shift a little bit further north. We'll see if that trends here in the next 24 to 48 hours that way. But we continue to move this forward here. We're getting into Wednesday evening. Heavy rain associated with this low pressure. Does this quickly try to redevelop in the Gulf of Mexico? It's a big question, but I don't think it's that big, as there's not much confidence in that happening at all. Just a Gulf low that really just flies in, brings a lot of heavy rain to southern areas of Alabama, the panhandle of Florida, and then it makes its way all the way into kind of Wednesday night into Thursday morning, begins to take over central and southern Georgia, northern Florida, the low country of South Carolina, even the Midlands of South Carolina. Just brings some pretty heavy rain. So we're basically going to go from bone dry to some of these areas to just a huge push of moisture. And then we're getting into Thursday morning. This is making its way off the coast of the southeast, and then it heads on off. But this is going to bring a lot of rain. We look at Texas first. Big sharp cutoff with this is the blend of all models. But, between now and Wednesday evening, this is how much rain that could potentially fall. And, widespread 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals across South Texas, Southeast Texas, the coastal regions of Texas. And then we make our way to the southeast. This takes us all the way through Saturday evening. Okay, and look how much rain they're calling for in southern areas of Mississippi, southeast Louisiana. 1 to as much as 3.5 inches of rain. Southern Alabama, 1 to 3 inches of rain. I think the panhandle of Florida could get 2 to 4 inches of rain. And yeah, this is a lot of rain coming up. We need this. We really do. I'm looking forward to this, honestly. I'm looking forward to a couple rainy days here at the end of this work week. That's for sure. I will take the warmer and more moist conditions for the rainfall, knowing there's another cold front coming in behind it. The severe weather threat associated with a totally different system is going to be there. Right now, just a marginal risk at day 3 because of this. We talked about this surface low in detail in last night's video. We'll probably do it again, and probably a video maybe tomorrow evening. I probably won't have a video tonight, but we'll speak on it in tomorrow evening's video a lot more. But this is for Wednesday. Already just a marginal risk right here with a big moisture return all the way up into the plains region. We'll see how much this tweaks. And then we look at day 4, which is for a Thursday. Already a slight risk. Very small area. Includes Omaha, Lincoln, all the way down. Not quite into Kansas City, all the way down to areas of northeast Kansas. There's already a slight risk for severe weather for Thursday, day 4. Okay, so confidence is just enough there that we're going to have some severe weather. We mentioned this in last night's video, not surprised at all. And I would watch Friday also, a little bit further east, getting into maybe Illinois, Indiana, Western Kentucky. We'll see what happens. Remember, guys, even though the cooler air is coming, we're getting cooler, this is secondary severe weather season that we are fully into now, especially and this trends a little bit further south. Just like in the spring, it trends a little bit further north. It trends a little bit further south the more you get into November, even December. Of course, we all remember what happened in December of 2021 in areas of Western Kentucky and the Boot Hill, Missouri, and Northeast Arkansas. So honestly, you can get severe weather in the deep south and the southeast any time of the year. But yeah, so we're just entering that time of the year when we have to speak on early season snows, severe weather threats. And we're just getting to that time of the year where any kind of weather could happen. It really can. Now, eventually, no tropical activity will happen. But you get what I'm saying. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. You guys have an awesome Monday. Make today great. God bless all y'all. Have a great day.